So what I wanted to do after that introduction, because obviously, I'm going to get some negative comments by the people that are in here that are Scott supporters, and you can understand why they're Scott supporters and how this is being done, because what they're doing is Scott obviously is not denying that he was with a 17-year-old. He wrote about it. He's never come back and said that he didn't do it. In fact, he replied back using her name. So, it's like guilt by association. So I'm going to try to explain what happened here, because there's a lot of things that are happening that are being said by Scott supporters and also YouTube channels that are associated with him in groups. And I'll prove that later with a letter that he sent me, and I'll emphasize what he's been doing to try to sully my good name to take the pressure off of himself. And we're going to be very direct here. So let's start from the beginning. Okay, Scott, I've watched numerous live streams of him and videos, and in all those live streams and videos, he would complain that he was on the road and he didn't have time to meet a wife, and he wanted to meet somebody between 18 and 25 to be a wife. So in one of the live streams, I finally got sick of kind of hearing it, and I said, look, I made a comment and said, if you're looking to find a wife, I know a place where there's plenty of girls that are very quality oriented that would make a good wife. And I said, if you're interested, let me know. He responded back, contact me by email. That's it. Okay. So I contacted him and he responded back. And I told him that if he was interested, I would have a girl contact him that I knew that would act as an intermediary. And let's think about that, okay? Every person watching this, every person probably in the United States, Europe, has always been in a situation where they either benefited or were involved with setting people up. One person in the middle, you introduce someone you know to someone else you know, and they may introduce them to your friends. And vice versa, you may be the beneficiary. Somebody knows somebody else, and they put the two of you together. That happened to me when I was a junior in high school. The head majorette came to me and said, hey, do you know so-and-so that's a younger majorette? And I said, yeah. And she goes, I think she's interested in you. I said, cool. And she said, you want to get together with her? And she goes, I said, yeah, but let's make it kind of casual. There was a dance on a Friday night. We met there and we clicked. So you had somebody acting as an intermediary that put the two of us together. So that's basically what happened with Scott, but it's a lot different than that. So what ended up happening is Scott contacted, the person I know contacted Scott, and they started talking by video chat. The extent of what I don't know. What I do know is that she was engaged and still is engaged to a guy from Germany. And the first thing Scott did, he started hitting on her. Right away hitting on her. And one of the statements that he made that she sent to me was, you can have two boyfriends. Okay?
Yeah.
So he wants to go behind the German guy's back and sleep with the aunt while at the same time. So that's the type of character you're dealing with here. So what ended up happening is she rebuked his advances, and unbeknownst to me, the two of them started talking for 4.5 weeks, with the aunt acting as an intermediary and having her niece, who didn't speak English, talking to Scott for 4.5 weeks, with the girl Angel acting as an interpreter. So Scotty boy groomed this 17-year-old for 4.5 weeks before he showed up. I went back and I looked through my messages from the aunt over a 5-week period while Scotty was doing this. Not once did she mention Scott. So I had no idea this was going on. So right off the bat, Scotty picked up on a 17-year-old, and that was his focus. And you know, I didn't know what was going on until he actually got there. What I thought was going to happen when he went there was that he was going to go there after he got back from Canada, and then
Right.
you know, he would go there. But he actually, before he went to Canada, you know, so I had no clue he was going to do that. My understanding that he was going to stay at a guy named Derek's place in Cebu, take care of his motor scooter issues, and hang out there, go to Canada, and then come back, and then he would contact the girl and possibly go to the barangay where they lived. So that's how it happened. I've seen stuff on Philippine Antics where Heidi the hag, who's acting as a mouthpiece for the regular guy, Scotty Boy. And I'm going to get around to that because I'm going to show you how it's done. Because
Sure.
Scott admits he's doing it. And she was making comments along the lines that I was trafficking in women, and everybody was joining in. And it was basically like, I'm a pimp. I've seen a comment here, you know, again, that I'm pimping girls. That's bullshit. Any person that's in this right now has been the benefit of being introduced to somebody through a friend, or has done the same thing the other way. I didn't introduce Scotty Boy to anybody but one person who was engaged to a German guy. That's it. That's my involvement.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is, you know, and the reason I'm pissed is Scotty had an age range of 18 to 25. The aunt knew the age range was 18 to 25, but both of them betrayed their trust that I had in them. Yeah, come on in. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Just let him in when he. Okay, when he's done. Hey, thanks. Yeah, it's probably because he ate some of the rope. Tornado, go to your cage. Yeah, please. Thanks, Jazz. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, sure.
The cage is right there. That's my pretty next door neighbor. Jasmine, do we have a life?
No, we don't have a life. We only have dogs.
We only have dogs. That's my life.
Right here, we gotta go in the cage. In the cage. In the cage. You got a tree or something?
Yeah, go up on the kitchen to the left.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, cool. So let me get back to that. She was taking care of my dog. He had a little digestive issues there. So let me go back to Scott, and what I'm going to do is I think it's very important right from the beginning, after your after your last live stream that we did. There were people questioning the validity of what I was saying, and that some people doubted it and all that. So out of nowhere on May the 7th, I get this email.
You don't lock this, right?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
Just cover, put the
Covered?
yeah, cover down, he'll stay.
That's it?
That'll work.
All right.
Thanks, Jasmine.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
I'll lock you up, okay?
Okay, thanks. So what ended up happening, is my apologies to everybody. What ended up happening is, out of the blue, Scotty sends me this email. I don't know if you want to put it up on the screen or not, but I mean, I'm gonna read it. And so I don't know where it says, so many things that you are not lining up, Randy. So his English sucks for an English teacher. One example in regard to Andy's community post saying that it must be Scotty chatting in Antics who mentioned you. Randy, there are so many people who know your name. Now, how would they know my name? Because somebody put my name in Philippine Annex in a post, and I'll get around to that about who it is, because I know who did it because of the name that he used. I have a Google Doc dedicated to just gathering info on you. This is about blackmail. Okay? My question to you is, why do you think I'm the only person who knows your name? The reason is obviously he gave it out to everybody because he's a
Yeah, that's true.
scumbag. It's a scumbag. Now it gets interesting. I have 50,000 subs and a lot of friends and acquaintances and also people who just want to help me. Now, think about that. He just weaponized his YouTube channel.
Yep.
What happens when you weaponize a YouTube channel and you start threatening people? You lose your YouTube channel. This is going to YouTube. It's gone a couple other places already. And we'll go forward and I'll explain why. I have mentioned your name in group posts and have people who have contributed to inquire about you from those group posts. So they've got groups on Facebook and YouTube dedicated just to me. So this is how people are protecting a serial predator, okay, and a masterful manipulator who's committed a crime in the Philippines. They all know he did it, but they think, oh, okay, let's go after the messenger and maybe it'll go away. Well, we're gonna make it a little tougher today, so that the Philippine community actually closes in on him, and that a little pressure is applied within the country. Whenever anyone inquires, I send them the Google Doc so they can look into you further. What a piece of shit. The doc includes names, phone numbers, links, video recordings, snapshots of private convo, which I can prove. And let me stop there. What he did is he took an email that was from me to him, and he sent it to the aunt.
Right.
And what was in there talked about her boyfriend and also what she would say to me when she was arguing with the boyfriend, which was usually a sexual come on. But I never reacted that when that would happen. Okay? So she got so mad. My Facebook is set to friends only. And she gave him access to my Facebook and her complete messenger stream with me, which is private conversations, going back probably 2 years. That's an invasion of privacy on Scott's part. Okay, that's against the law. It doesn't matter if someone sees it. It's against the law when you post it. So if it comes out, okay, that's going to be, let's see, Facebook and YouTube are based out of the United States. So those are criminal offenses because it went from the Philippines to the United States. He's a Canadian citizen. So that's going to be invasion of privacy in 3 countries, breaking the law there. In the United States, that's going to be wire fraud because of what he's done already. What he sent to me in that email right there, threatening me, that's wire fraud. You know, and if he ever stepped foot in the United States, his butt would go to jail. It's also a Philippines crime as well, too. So he's just like digging the hole.
Right? But he's not in Canada. So in Philippines.
Yeah, you know, because he's Canadian, they can act on that as well, too. He's done a lot of things, what he said in here, where they can revoke his passport. First of all, he's been with a 17-year-old, you know, in the Philippines, obviously breaking the law there with a juvenile. And then what he's done right here, this is all grounds to revoke his passport. He's just because he's so pissed that he got caught. He's upset, so he's taking it out on me, and he's getting other people to do the same thing. So he says specifically, who was the only guy who commented, I have on idea, but I freely give out your information to anyone who wants it in order to gather more. So he's got a concerted effort going, in essence, to go after me because I caught him in what he's been doing for years. And let me explain what he's been doing for years, because he's gone on other channels and he said what his modus operandi was, which is his method of operation. He went on on Mike's Philippines Journey channel. It was a titled Regular Guy versus Mike Debate. There was a part 1 and a part 2. And they were talking in part 1 about the difference in what type of women they liked. And Mike liked, more educated, mature women who were more city oriented and had some type of background where they could communicate and the like. Scotty came out and was quite clear that he liked them a day over 18 and older. And there were a couple comments in that thread, from Mike's regular watchers. And one guy goes, "This guy's still in his teenage years." And another guy made a comment along the lines that, the cut is 18, and he goes from there. So Scotty has, and he went on to say, Mike asked him a question. He asked him, when you lived in Korea, when you came back to the Philippines, did you have any women that were lined up? Because I had at least one, every time. And if he was in multiple cities, he had at least one in every one of those cities. So what he's done is he's adapted that method of operation with his travels around the Philippines. He's got that dating profile out there asking for girls 18 to 23. And there's these girls on these dating sites that are younger than 18. So what he's doing is he's lining up girls on each stop along the way. But he just tells them, I'm going to be in this city at this time. He contacts them through a dating site. And that's how he's hooking up with women. What age they are? Well, they're not older than 23. They might be 18. But based on his what he did, with the girl I know and with that 17-year-old, it's quite obvious that he has no problems with girls that are younger than 18. So take it for what it is. I think it would be very interesting, if the Philippines government backtracked, all those different stops and checked out who he was with, because that photo goes around. So let me go on a little bit what he says. I'd say 50-ish people know your name, so I can't know who it was talking on Antics. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to say who it was right now because I'm going to talk about Antics in detail, but I know who it was.
Wow.
I know who it was talking on Antics and what name they used, and I know exactly who it is because that name that was used, nobody else would know. Hey. He goes, I'm posting anywhere.
Your internet?
A bit in regard to the Antics chat. He goes, now taking this, you went on the Omar channel to spill the beans on RG for 2 reasons. Let me stop there. That's written in third person. Somebody else is writing that right there. That's not Scott writing. He's got a helper.
Yeah, somebody's helping him for sure.
That's not the way. That's not the way a first person and a person that's writing in the first person would write that.
You can see that it is the email, like one way of writing. Like these sentences are kind of like messed up and misconstrued. While in this section, it does seem like somebody else is making the writing. It's more clear. So it is funny that somebody else is helping him. He actually does have a facilitator in the Philippines, it seems. Whoever's protecting him, that is wild. That's all I got to say. There's somebody helping this dude.
He says, you thought it must be me who spoke about you on Annex. Not true. He's actually right. It wasn't him. I know who it was. I sent Angel, that's the aunt, that snippet that got you in trouble with her because you pushed me to it. He actually ruined my complete friendship with her and her fiance by sending what he did to her. And that's what a scumbag piece of shit does. And that's what you are, Scott. And these people actually wanted me to be the godfather of their first child.
Wow.
Okay. So
Mhm.
he manipulated her and the boyfriend to where she actually sent me a message that they were going to file a case on me. I said, over that letter? I said, that letter was sent to you by Scotty. I didn't put it out there for anybody to see. Said, if you're going to file a case on anybody, you file a case on Scott for sending that, if you feel it's defamatory, because I didn't share it with anybody, but these she got sucked into Scott's manipulation, and it's really sad that happened, but it's just one of those things. You deal with it.
Yeah,
Then
that's
he says, how did you push me to it? The answer is, Randy, you would not shut up. You wanted to talk and talk shit about me behind my back. You think I don't know what was going on? I didn't talk shit about him behind his back. I came right on your place and talked it straight out. So
yeah.
right there, he's admitting he's guilty. He's not saying what you said is not true. I wasn't with a 17-year-old. I didn't groom her for 4.5 to 5 weeks. But Randy, you're outing me. Yeah, I did out you. You were talking about my personal info to Andy and Angel. Yeah, I did. I talked about what you wrote about what you did with a 17-year-old, about her firm breasts and her firm butt. And that was in a message where the prior message was, I can't get any alone time with her. Her mom doesn't want anybody touching her until she's married. So Scott was informed not to touch the girl until she was married, and that night he did. So obviously, the parents said no, and he didn't care. So let's go on from there.
Sure.
So you don't like me. Okay, fine, move on with your life. But you could not do that. You have an inability to just mind your own business. I know every bit of the info you told Andy and every bit of the info you told Angel. You couldn't mind your own business. Let's stop there. He made it my business by violating my trust, going into a situation where he was supposedly looking for 18 to 23 or 25-year-old girls. And right away, he focused in on a 17-year-old girl 4.5 to 5 weeks before he even went. And the girl that didn't even speak English. So you asked me to find you a wife. I set you up with somebody that was capable of finding you a wife. You violated the trust. That you put me in the middle of it. You put me in a situation where it made me look like I was complicit in what your actions were. I had no complicity in whatsoever in what you did, Scott. You did it all on your own in conjunction with an aunt who was obviously trying to set you up with a 17-year-old, probably, as a potential wife material, for her niece. And that way, there's another white guy, in the family, dating somebody and potentially marrying somebody. And I guess everybody was playing everybody in that transaction. I don't know exactly what transpired, but I'm sure, I got that phone call from Scott using Angel's phone. He had his arm around the girl, and it was the night after what transpired. And he introduced her as his girlfriend. He said it over and over again. And just to let you know what a scumbag he is after he left there, he ghosted her. He ghosted a girl, right away. And then what ends up
Yeah.
happening when all this stuff was coming out of nowhere in May, he sends the Anna message, and He first wants to try to get back with the 17-year-old who's got him blocked and has a boyfriend. So he's trying to cover his tracks by thinking, if I get her to be my girlfriend, all this will go away. Well, that didn't work. And then she asked me, she sent me a message, and it was like, Scott wants to be your friend. Some friend.
Yeah.
And then she asked him, have you given him any information? And she sent me the screenshot. It was like, what type of information? Photos and stuff. So there he is. He's admitting that he was there. There's photos of him with the girls and stuff. And he didn't want them posting anything on Facebook because he said it would ruin his reputation, with his channel, because his whole shtick was, I can't find a wife, blah, blah, blah. But he was also saying his ideal situation was, I want to find a wife in the province, build a little house, live there, and live a very simple life, blah, 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 blah. Now I just read the guy that just says, this guy's peddling, he's a pimp. That's a Scotty plant. Put it back up there. This guy is backpedaling, he's a pimp, as educated. I'm a pimp. I introduced one guy to one girl. That's pretty damn pimpish. I bet you've done the same thing, the man.
I'm just wondering with the man, like there's guys like CC, why don't you guys ask Scott for the proof of where Randy introduced him to the 17-year-old? Like
there is none. I didn't
just
know.
ask Scott. That's what I want to know. Like, if there is some proof, I mean, Scott would have probably sent it to me long time ago.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Like, in order to debunk you, like, he would have done this already.
Yeah, I didn't know who the 17-year-old was until he was in that barangay.
This is the thing, because Scott is a manipulator. So, in order to cause a rift between us, he would already planted, something on you for me to use against you. That's a Scott tactic right there. He would have probably used that already, but where would that be? That's what I'm wondering. So by now, I'm not seeing anything.
I don't even. I didn't know who she was. I never even seen a photo of her. The only first time I saw her was when Scott called using Angel the Ant's phone, and he had his arm around her. That's the first time I ever saw who she was. Never had a clue. Never seen her before. So let me go on. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone has a line, Randy. You crossed that line, and I bit back only a tiny bit. And that's what first thing you said on Omar's channel. Scotty, you piece of shit. Let me reiterate that, Scott. You are a piece of shit. You're pond scum. Any guy that preys on juveniles and underage girls is the lowest of the low. You know what you're doing. You've admitted you've done it. I had no complicity in it. I see, where's the proof? He sent 2 emails to me that proved it, because he actually said what he did. So there's your proof. Andy, you've got those emails if you ever want to put them up,
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, where he admits doing it. You understand the societal law, Randy, but you don't understand the laws of nature. If you F with people, people are going to F with you. Scotty, you don't seem to understand the laws of nature. You got a passport. You got a YouTube channel. I have access to the Philippines Embassy in Washington, where I've done business. I have access to the Canadian consulate, the Philippines consulate in Miami. It's 20 minutes away. I've got access to your stuff that I can provide to YouTube, and they'll take your channel off the air right away. That's the laws of nature, Scott. And the Canadian government, if they knew you were preying on you're a predator and preying on juveniles in the country, they're going to revoke your passport. That's the laws of nature, Scott. So keep messing with me.
And he is serial fraudster. I mean, he basically said in one of his videos, YouTube saved me, that he got his job to Korea by fraud. He went to this diploma website and got a fake degree from a website
I know.
and working illegally in Korea. So he was saying he was working illegally in Korea for 10 years. So you
And the
already know
weird,
the type of character he is.
and the
And
weirdest part
people
about
tend to
that,
support this guy and forgive this guy. And this is before his YouTube channel, and he's self-confessing it. Being a fraudster in Korea, that's already, for to work with kids, that's even
and it was
worse.
really, yeah. And he's admitted what he did with a couple of those kids. The weirdest part about that is it was so easy for him to take teaching English as a foreign language and get a certification. He never
Hmm.
did it. It's
Exactly.
uh, it's so easy to do online. He could have done it, and he chose not to do it. He would rather get fake documents, fake degrees, fake certification, and do this.
He even
You
showed
know,
what website and everything. I used this website for my transcripts and my fake degree. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
and he and
yeah,
he posted it.
he did. He posted it.
Yeah,
I still got the video, and like this is the thing that I've showed people of authority. This
I have the video
video,
too.
and yeah, like these videos are. I got a lot of videos that are unlisted and that I wouldn't publish now, but I just only show it to people who are of authority in the Philippines. So yeah. I'm just working silently through this. I'm not even doing this on public.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
let me
go
go
ahead.
on with this thing, because it's kind of funny. If you want to push this further, I suggest you meet me in person in the Philippines and stop pretending you're tough behind a computer. I won't touch you, Randy, if we meet because I'm not the little weasel like you. Seems to me like he wants to pull a Mark Thornton on me, and take me outside and sucker punch me. This is a guy that that says online in all his YouTube videos that he's never been in a fight, and all that. Well, that's a threat. I won't touch you. Well, I got a message for you, Scott. If I do see you in the Philippines face to face, it will be me looking at you while you're behind bars because you're really stupid staying there. Okay.
The man, I just want to ask, how is this defamation if this is basically a letter, a email written to him? um, it's a letter written to him, plus all of the stuff that I got was the stuff that he uploaded himself. He was self
Oh
snitching.
no. Yeah, this is an
That's what I'm
admission.
wondering with the man, like the defamation channel. Like, how can it be
Yeah.
defamation if a guy is out there saying he's getting all these fake degrees, fake diplomas, fraudulent, going through fraudulent ways of getting a
Well,
job?
the man that's written that right there doesn't understand that the defense against defamation is the truth, and nothing that's been said here is untrue. So
Exactly.
stick your defamation up your ass. We'll go from there. Scotty Boy's one of Scotty Boy's.
Yeah, he can try defamation for sure. Because I got way
Please,
more cards in my hand. Like the stuff that I showed, it's very minimal to what I have hidden. So
this
that's
this
another one
guy
too. So
this guy's going around the Philippines, and he's focusing in and on the little young girls and stuff, and he's getting off on these little girls. It's sick. It's sick. You watch the videos, the compilation that you did, you
mhm.
know,
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
that's it. I mean, only one or two clips. That's enough, but that's ton of clips.
And for the people that are saying that I don't have proof, he basically sent an email that said exactly what he did with the girl. Specifically commented about her firm breasts and butt. Okay. That I don't know. I mean, hey, and then all these responses going back and forth where he uses the girl's name and all. It's an admission that he's been there. You know, he just can't stop. You know, because you know he's an always right guy. So let me go on with this thing right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a lot of info on you, Randy. Would you like me to share it with the world? You want to commit a huge crime with cyberbullying and release the private information? Go ahead and do it, Scott. You'll be freezing your ass off in Vancouver for the rest of your life. Unless you flee to Cambodia or one of those other countries. See, Randy, you actually shared the video footage of Alaya, that's the 17-year-old who's now 18, so I can say her name, with Omar. You realize you are in deep shit now if this was ever aired. Scotty boy, you just admitted that you know the girl. Again, I just don't understand why you can be so damn stupid.
He did say it a bunch of times and in a couple of emails as well. So even by name,
So
by
we're gonna-
naming her as well, corroborating with his story, with your stories and
Yeah.
his stories.
I wouldn't have said her name if he hadn't put it out there, okay? And if she wasn't 18, I wouldn't have said anything, but she is now. If she was 17, I wouldn't say anything right now. I suggest you stop being a little weasel and get a life of your own. There is so much I could share with you, but that would make it a very long email. You already did send me a very long email. I appreciate you sending there to show that what you've done and admitted to doing. I mean, there's like numerous felonies in here. You know, this guy comes off, and let me tell you, this guy whole life is a facade. He's telling stories. You remember the video about Scott Chocolate?
Uh-huh.
He went on Mike's Philippines journey and claimed it wasn't him. Anytime Scotty posts a story and mentions a different people's name, it's him because he screws up and then he says I. So that whole video, you'll go through it and he starts off telling the story and then he goes to I. Now, the last video that he did before he went to Canada was with Nesbitt. You have that video. And what he does is he describes exactly what happened while he was in that barangay and tells the exact story of who these people are, their ages, the number of people in the family, the beautiful aunt. Then he mentions the girl, but he doesn't give her age. He tells the aunt's age, but not the girl that he was with age. Well, Nesbitt was with, who Nesbitt was with. So, you know, he basically, the whole Nesbitt video matches up with exactly what he wrote to me. And you have all that stuff.
Funny that a lot of people, like, sometimes they say defamation, but my information that I get from the things that they upload themselves, like self-snitching. So how can it be defamation repeating what you did? Or how can it be defamation of you're uploading a video, you're editing this video for hours, because these videos are not easy to edit. These take hours. And uploading it to YouTube, putting on the monetization options, because you also got to go through a process while you're uploading it on YouTube. You got to check certain spots and everything. So he does all this, and then as soon as they get called out, oh, it's defamation from Andy Omar. Oh, what the fuck?
Well, I did respond to him, and it was very lengthy, and I really don't want to go through all of that. Let's just say that basically I put him in his place, and I told him what I would do if anything came out. So we're gonna skip that part, Andy, because I don't want to bore the hell out of your audience. Because you read it, you actually read it in the last live stream you did.
Uh-huh.
But let's just say that I basically told Scott what would transpire if he proceeded with anything, and I'm not playing games. Okay. After I'm through with him, if he pulls any crap, and in a group, He's going to say, they've created a group with me on YouTube and Facebook just to deal with this issue, and I'm gonna get into that, and I'm gonna get into the players, at least 2 of them, and I'm gonna explain a whole bunch of what's transpiring, and go from there.
I just react to the things that they upload. So, and then when they get called out, they get, yeah, they consider it trolling for some odd reason. So whatever they put there, whatever they edited, oh, Andy Omar's just trolling, or it's the trolls. Like the trolls? Wait, but you're the one uploading this shit.
Well, what I was going to say is there's a lot of Filipinos that are pissed off about this, and they think that it transpired in Bacolod City. It actually happened about an hour away by bus. So these girls are now, I think, 18 and 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the Philippine people where to go, and what barangay. Talk to the barangay captain, who should then meet with the father and the mother who told Scotty Boy no. Either they're complicit in there or they're going to file a case against him. At the time, and they're no longer there, but at the time, they went to Cabacuncan National High School, Masalog Extension. And I'm going to spell the high school out. It's CABACUNCAN National High School. Masalog is MASULOG Extension. I believe that's the barangay. So for the Filipinos out there, you've got a juvenile, you've got a predator that's preying on a juvenile in that particular school. Scotty Boy actually went to that school. I guess he went there to be shown off as a prize. So now everybody in the Philippines, and this will spread around, Scotty Boy, will know who the parties were that you were involved with, where the high school they went to, and the barangay where the parents of this 17-year-old live. I want you to let that sink in. It ain't cool. It is not cool preying on young girls that are under 18 when you're a 45-year-old man.
They are in contact with Scott directly, like right now. Like, why can't they just ask him, like, can you send something over that it makes Randy here guilty of it? Because that would have already, if I saw something, then yeah.
What they don't understand is they're accessories after the fact, trying to help out a felony. A guy that committed a felony. Okay? They're accessories after the fact. And anybody else in that group chat, or anybody living in Cebu in the IT park that are protecting Scott, why would they be protecting Scott? Let me talk about what Scott's done, and I'm going to kind of close this down, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on, okay? Because now everybody knows where to find the barangay, the high school, the father, so they can file a complaint against Scott. Because I don't think they knew what was going on, because the message I got before this transpired was the mom didn't want her to do anything until she was married. That's it. And then the next day things happened. Say something, what's going on? Scott is a manipulator, and what he's done is he's scared the 17-year-old who's now 18, the aunt, and I guess the parents, I'm not sure how, in what way, that if he goes down, they're going to go down too, because they're all complicit in what he did. So everybody's afraid. Well, the aunt didn't do anything except do an introduction, knowing that the niece was not supposed to be touched. The parents let it be known that she was not to be touched. So they're not complicit either. The only one that's complicit is Scott. Hey, what's going on here is you've got this group that's formed on either YouTube or Facebook, and Scotty's in there with a whole bunch of people, and the attempt is to do character assassination on me, shoot the messenger, kill the messenger, and to protect him. Why would you want to protect somebody that could very easily have done the same thing to one of your own kids? There's going to be four things that I do. I'm not going to say what they are on here, but I can assure you when I do them, Scott, you better be running. You better hope you're not in the Philippines. You better hope you're gone, buddy, because after the Filipinos see this particular video and it gets spread around, and they know the barangay where it happened at, the barangay captain gets a hold of it, you're gonna have charges filed against you. It's gonna happen. As much as you scared these people by threatening them that they would go down with you, you've been using your Facebook channel and your YouTube channel to go from town to town in these little province towns. You're taking pictures of girls 12, 13, 14 and zooming in on them. Then the question becomes, who are you meeting? I like this. How many of you pedos are in this stream? Any of the regular guy supporters? They would be the pedos that are in the stream. Because nobody in their right mind, knowing what he did, would be supporting him.
I'm just wondering, why is it that they are, what investment do these guys defending this guy have with, why can't the man defend himself? I mean,
Well,
I put the
exactly.
links up there. I mean, if he wants to go, I mean, I'm sure he's on the live stream and I'm sure he's watching, and
Well,
the links are there. I mean, if
he's
he
admit-
wants to talk to Randy or something. Okay, as a matter of fact, if you're a supporter of this guy, then tell him here's a link invitation for him right now, and
yeah,
there you go. And if he wants to come up or whatever and defend himself, because why do you need other people to defend you? Like, it's weird. It's the man, the man is 45 years old. He can talk for himself. Like, why do you need some other grown man talking for him? That's what I'm wondering. It's really weird and it's really suspect. It's being a very true manipulative thing when they are speaking for him, but the man doesn't speak for himself, kind of deal. It's weird. So,
well,
like, the link is there if if they want to talk together or whatever. Because I know he's watching this one, and yeah, I'm not gonna get in between them. Like, they can just discuss it out or whatever.
let me
If they
explain
want.
something. This is not about me. Okay, this is about what he did first to violate my trust, and then what he did to break up a 2-year friendship. He only cares about himself. He only cares about himself. I'm showing my face. I'm talking. I'm reading what he wrote. He's admitting the felonies in what he wrote. I mean, how stupid. You don't think I'm going to go to the Canadian consulate in Miami and show them what you did? Of course I'm going there. I'm going to tell them exactly what you did and show them the proof of you admitting what you did with a 17-year-old. I'm going to show them the response about what you decided you were going to do in terms of blackmailing me and putting a whole bunch of things out to my friends, my family. You've got all their addresses, their phone numbers. What are you going to do, Scott? You gonna pop a G-bomb on them? Every one of them's been contacted to expect this to happen and to disregard it, because I told them right off the bat, the reason that the person's doing it is because I outed him as a pedo. Where he sends me this email and he's talking about the girl. There's no way a guy that's innocent is going to send this long email to me threatening me with all this stuff if he didn't do anything wrong. He would just say, go fuck yourself. The girl was 18 or 19. That's not what happened. And he knows it. We all know the girl's name. Everybody knows what her age was when it transpired. People saw and I didn't mention her name originally until she turned 18. I normally wouldn't do that, but because of Scott's threats to keep him quiet, that's the only reason I've done it. And, the truth of the matter is that people like this are in every country. A lot of them do it 100 times before they actually get caught. And my guess is, in the last 2 years, while he's gone from town to town and he's used his Facebook profile to meet girls, which he told Mike's Philippine Journey in that one video, that he always sets up one girl before he goes to a place. I mean, he's been to so many different places and met so many girls. I have no idea how old they were, but if he's done it in this particular instance, he's probably got a pattern and practice of doing it before. So, he's hiding for a reason. If he thought he was innocent, he'd be out putting out videos. And by the way, don't be surprised if he puts out a video about me. And what he'll do is he'll use information acquired from my friend who gave him access to her messenger, where we had conversations that were very personal, also including her fiance as well too, because of the rocky road in their relationship. So people like Scott, they can't go on doing what they're doing. There's got to be a limit. He's going to keep doing what he's doing if he's not put in the limelight. My guess is when the Filipinos get word of this, they get word of where it transpired and the fact that he's been hiding in IT Park in Cebu, he's going to be in some trouble.
Usually the authorities, they like to have something for sure and finding a complainant and things like that. But
that's the reason I went ahead and did what I did tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's best, because I don't believe the mom and dad knew what happened. I really don't, because he was told that she was supposed to wait till marriage, and he wrote to me that's what he was told. I mean, you've got that email from him where he talks about that the mom says that she's not supposed to do anything until she's married, and then that night he did, because he wrote me back telling me what he did with her. So you've got somebody that's been told no. Yeah, Bob Z's channel. Yeah, you're also talking about the same thing about the barangay officials getting together and after the complaints. That's the key, and that's why I did what I did today, is putting out the barangay name, the high school, and the girls' names, so they'll know exactly where to go. They'll exactly know where to get the complaints filed and who should be filing the complaints, and go from there. And hopefully that'll transpire. The dad and mom are put in a very awkward position where they're going to have to file complaints or they're going to catch hell in the barangay. Bob Z's channel is regular guy. Could be.
No.
Could be.
I don't think so.
If it was, it would be Boobsies. Boobsies for the Baberoonies.
Yeah, could be Boobsy's channel.
So let me pull a Scott here. So Scott, my good man, he's my good man. The guy's his own worst enemy. And to be frank, I hope he stays. I hope the charges get filed, and they won't deport him. They won't deport him. They'll arrest him, put his ass in jail. And I'm going to be available to any of the officials in the Philippines. They can contact me at any time. I'm going to provide that information to the Philippines Embassy in Washington, D.C., because I've done some business with them personally, and I have a contact there. And I will also provide it to the Philippines consulate in Miami. I've got to go down there as well on another issue in a few weeks, and I'll try to set up something with the Canadian consulate as well. So Scott, everybody's going to know what you're doing, and if you got something to say, why don't you come on the channel and deny that you didn't do what's being said about you? If he hadn't done anything, what he would have done is right away he would have came out and said this is bullshit. Instead, I got an email because he's mad that I outed him.
There you go, Scotty. Supposedly he's selling his bike. Go to James Hathaway and James. You can also ask him about like the stuff, the questions, that you were asking him.
Well, that's the thing I have for all the RG subscribers. Ask him if he did it. Ask him if he did it. And all the YouTube channels that are working in conjunction with him, ask him if he did it. Ask him if he did it. Because he's already wrote that he did do it.
Where he said there is video, okay, one, where he made the video with his own voice, telling the story, two, corroborating with emails, telling the story. And, like, this is the thing with a lot of the RG supporters, that they're supporting RG, right? And I understand it. Yeah, you might be doubtful. You guys might be doubtful. Sure. But then after the fact that after the first interview, he emailed Randy corroborating again and stating that it's true pretty much about that it's factual. You know how crazy that is? Like, even if you're I don't care who you are, even if you support RG, I mean, I guess, yeah, even if you support him, still, like, why would he write that email to him incriminating himself? Like, if you're a Scotty supporter, like, why do you think this guy would write an email incriminating himself? That's one question that I just want to ask these people. And why do you still keep supporting him? Even though he wrote this incriminating email himself, corroborating with the things that Randy said on the first interview. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, I would understand if there was an email saying, Randy, this is all not true. This is not me. Better stop it or I press legal action. And that would be it. No, instead he wrote stuff like, I got a dossier on you. I'm sending it to people. I'm in the groups. You're spilling the beans. That's the one thing he's saying. You're spilling the beans. You went to Andy Omar's channel to spill the beans.
Yeah, I went to Andy Omar's channel to tell the truth.
Yeah. He's basically saying there, you went to Andy Omar's channel to spill the beans. He's basically saying you went out there to Andy Omar channel and saying the truth. And then you must thought it must me who spoke to you in antics and it's not true. And it's wild. Like when he says you spilled the beans, you went to Andy Omar's channel to spill the beans. What do you think that means? This is one thing that I want to ask. Lawyer, what lawyer is telling him not to say nothing? Like, you can clearly see right here the email of Scott. And of course, we all know what's his email address. He put the email down in his freaking channel, right? Like,
his regular
he put
email.
the email on his channel. That we put it out there on the first interview. I got the email, forwarded. Okay, so let's say he does have a lawyer and is telling him not to say anything.
Well, he obviously did.
It's most likely a defense lawyer, right? Is that for the incoming shit? Because it's wild. It's funny.
Well, if he had a lawyer that was telling him not to say anything, he should have told him not to write anything.
Yeah, he should have told him not to write anything. Exactly.
And also
It's
to
already
confess
public
to all
record.
these different things. One about all he's committed felonies that he's admitted to already in that May 7th email. But also he's talked about committing other felonies if I didn't shut up.
So look here, George. Because we did the interview, I guess, on a Sunday, and then on Monday, so at May 6th, 6:49 p.m., Scott emails him. And why does he have a lawyer now after all this? Now, is it because of the allegations that are coming in? Is it because he knows that there is authorities looking for him? Is that the reason why? Because I know, George, that you probably have more knowledge on this than you're letting on. So this is pretty funny.
Yeah. So what's ended up happening here is a YouTube group of certain YouTubers have gotten together and are protecting him, and he's enlisted some of his subscribers, which he admits to doing, over 50 of them, to basically go after me. And if any of them do, they're all committing felonies. I don't understand why they would want to go to jail for this guy.
What I don't understand is why they want to defend him. If there's even, let's say, even if they are also peds, let's say they are, even if they are, why would they even be helping this guy? Wouldn't they just let the weak link get out? You know, if I were a smart criminal, I would have let the weak link, I would have just ditched the weak link. I would have cut the fat. No, these guys are keeping him. They're helping him because they know that he is the weak link and he's going to spill more of the beans. Yeah, go ahead.
For me, normally I would use the words allegedly as well too, but seeing how he wrote what he wrote to me, basically it's his words. It's not an allegedly to me. It's a confession. The fact that the prior email actually said I can't get any alone time with her. There's people around all the time, and then he goes on to say that the mother doesn't want her to do anything until she's married, and then he goes on to talk about a possible previous experience with a Filipino guy. This one's funny. He's probably setting you guys up. He probably created misinformation and will come back and sue you guys for slander. Truth is never what it seems.
Fraud? So he would sue for fraud, basically. Like, let's say he creates this false information to sue me or sue him. Isn't that like isn't that like a crime in itself? Like, isn't that like putting false information out there?
And that would be perpetuating a fraud if it was true, but there's no way. That's not what he did.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's basically if it's true. If this is true, like actually, I know that RG is not that, like if you look at his sentences, the way he constructs his sentences, that is not a smart man. Like if you talk about him, how his school being fraudulent, and he's putting out videos talking about how he got a job fraudulently in Korea. And
and if the Canadian government knew that, and they have proof of that, they will revoke his passport. That's all it takes.
That's wild. Smart. Like, where did you get that idea?
What's that, for Rob Keystone?
Yeah, misinformation isn't fraud. That is fraud, bro. People got that's basically
his scenario is just bullshit, so why even address it?
Yeah, it's true. Let's say you create false information, which he created, and then he would sue for it. Like it's. I'm sorry. This is the stupidest comment I ever fucking heard. I'm sorry, but wow.
You know how far-fetched that is? That is so far-fetched.
It is. It's really. You're giving this guy way too much credit of his own ability.
And he has this series about who he calls the boho girl. It's a 5-part series. It makes you wonder how old she was when they first met. What we do know is that her niece that slept in the same place was 15. But he doesn't go on to talk about when they first met how old she was. Because he went back to Korea, and I'm sure that when he was in Korea, he wasn't exactly a loyal boyfriend, and obviously she wasn't a loyal girlfriend because she ended up getting pregnant with a Filipino guy, and he calls that the love of his life. Why did he go back to Canada?
I wonder if the mother has that that footage.
I doubt it. Why did he go back to Canada? Because I guess his father's is dying, and the mother's older. So why did he go back to Canada? There's always a reason. And you can think about that and you'll understand the reason. There's a reason the sun comes back. When people are about ready to pass away or in their older age.
Yeah, that's true. This probably went in, trying to get something
You know
out
what
of it or whatever.
There's manipulation going on there too as well. You know, the guy, like I said, he's a master manipulator, and the stuff that he's pulling, it's not very smart because the people that he's involved, they have a lot to lose. And they seem to forget that they have a lot to lose.
And
You know,
it's really wild how the guy like this, like he's talking about his father. Oh, my father's getting strokes. My father, he's about to die. My father's falling in the shower and all that. I'm just wondering, why doesn't he just stay there and help out his father, assist him or something, right?
well,
Like, why
well,
does he
you
need
heard
to
me.
fucking leave? Like, any normal person, like, their parents are doing that. Like, for example, someone in the family is having health issues and I'm going back to the States. And I'm wondering, I'm like, even if an a-hole like Andy Omar would do that, why wouldn't somebody like a regular guy be out there and
You're getting
it's
ready to do
weird.
that in a few weeks. You're getting ready to do that. Aren't you going
No, no,
back?
next week. I'm
Okay,
just wondering.
there.
I'm just wondering, why would this guy not stay? His father. He says his father is dying. Please feel sorry for my mother. Please feel sorry for my father. And then I'm just wondering, why is it that he just wouldn't just go back, stay there, maybe get a job, something, right? Stay with him in his final moments. He's like, no, he's dying. It's fine. Yeah, I'm going back to the Philippines. I'm gonna stay in the Philippines. But my father's dying. Like, it shows you what kind of person he is already.
Because there's a lot more that I have. So, but I don't want to go on anymore, Andy. I hope that helps your audience. I hope that helps the Filipinos understand exactly what's transpired. I provided the information, so hopefully that will get out and about, so they can get into the barangay, and the barangay captain and the head people in that barangay. They will talk. It's the oldest brother of Angel Libradelia. They'll know who it is. They'll have a talk with him. And you know how a barangay will interact with somebody when something like this has happened to one of the juvenile girls in their community. I mean,
Yeah.
he's either going to be complicit in it if he doesn't file a complaint. So he's basically going to have to file. The mom and dad are going to have to file a complaint once they find out exactly what's going on. And that's what Scott doesn't understand. He may continue to put the pressure on and tell him what's happening and all that kind of stuff. But what it boils down to is when the Filipinos get involved in it at the micro level in the barangay, it doesn't matter what Scott does. Does not matter at all. Because the Filipinos, they've got, they'll take, this will get spread around just like the other one, and it'll get on into the Facebook groups and as such, and it'll go from there. So I'm going to get
Yeah.
off of this thing. I appreciate
All right.
everybody's time. And Andy, it was a pleasure as always. And for all the people that were supporting me, I appreciate it very much. And we'll see where this goes.
The reason why he's doing this is because the guy is basically threatening him and said he's threatening his family or whatever. So that's the reason why he came on. And there's stuff happening in the background, which he's not disclosing. So I get it. I hope everybody has a good day and hope everybody, goes out. Like, as I said before, I really do not hate this Scotty character. Like, I don't like what he does. I hate what he does, but as a person, like, trying to humanize the guy. So definitely hope you guys take care. And yeah. All right. Peace, you guys. Appreciate it.